Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I am a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on May 19th, 2022 at approximately 1:31 p.m. PST. It really is. Life itself really is about the feeling. It's not about the material stuff. The material stuff, when you think about it, is great in as much as it gives you neat little toys, neat little trinkets, and you can show them off to the people if you really desire to. But of course, understand if you're getting the stuff to show it off to people, then you have a bit of a problem. At least in my opinion. Now, I returned to this world for one primary purpose, and that is to remind everyone in existence that working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. Now, there will be some people that will not be happy. Okay, but you break your home down into three sections. Oh, by the way, if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel, and remember two major factors. Share the daylights out of it. This is a major job we're undergoing here, a major task. And that is, society right now is going down an absolutely dark path. Now, I'm not a doomsayer by any means. I am simply looking, at least I don't feel I am. I'm simply looking at the patterns people are following. Okay, you take a look at it. There are, people are talking about a shortage of land, a shortage of oil, a shortage of food, a shortage of this, that, and the other thing. It is all primarily fear-based. Okay, and I'm not just talking to big corporations. I'm talking about your own individual conversations. Now, I used to think, I honestly used to think, much like you did, the big corporations were the problems, the government was screwing things up, and then, it was all somebody else. And then Facebook hit the line. Now, a lot of people have problems with social media. They complain about what's being censored and what isn't. But, if you think about it, what are you posting? I take a look at what the general public is posting. And I am a firm believer that 95% of people are decent people. No matter whether they have money, they don't have money, they're in the government, they're in a corporation, they're in a small business, it doesn't matter. You don't separate any of it, or more to the point, I don't. Okay, but when Facebook hit, when the social media really took off, I found that the problem was actually people. Take a look at what you're posting. Are you posting things that are pointing out, oh, here's a problem with the world? Now, hiding the problems is not a good idea. They do have to be brought to light. Okay, but they don't have to be front page. When you're looking at the big newspapers, you don't have to have front page news. Who stole from who ripped off who. Realistically, in my opinion, I look at the posts that are coming up on Twitter and Facebook. These are pictures that that these superstars never wanted to see on social media. So why, pray tell, are they being posted so prolifically? If you follow the three karmic laws, be true to yourself, do unto others as you desire them to do unto you, and energy out, energy in. Now, if somebody took an embarrassing photo of you, would you desire them to post it on the internet for everybody to see? Would you desire it to be put up on a billboard for everyone in the world to see? If the answer is no, then whatever you are doing, do not repost these things. They are not necessary. They do not make people feel good. They're more to the point. They're not necessary to help people feel good. Okay, when I take a look at what I'm going to post or what I'm going to repost, I do not take a look at, oh, this was embarrassing. Here's a picture that, that was very embarrassing and nobody wants to see. Like I'm just scooting back here to my Facebook page just to see what happened and what comes up on the front of my page. And when I'm looking at it, I take a look at things that are coming up on the front page. You know, and if you're taking a look at things that are showing up and they're saying, here's the embarrassing moments of so-and-so. Okay, and this applies to whether we're talking social media, the electronic version, or social media as in newspaper and radio. Okay, if you're constantly reposting or you're constantly spreading word about who stole what from who, here's an icon. Here is a political figure that's supposed to be running the country. Now, if we're talking about a political figure, okay, that is set in a high position, okay, there are certain things you have to look at. Okay, if you're talking about somebody that is leading a corporation, for instance, take a look at three major factors in the corporation. Okay, one, are they producing quality stuff? Are they producing a quality product or a quality service? That's first and foremost. Quality being a good product, a good value. Are they producing something where they say this is the warranty we handle? Is that corporation honoring their own warranty, honoring their own word? Remember that thing about be true to yourself first? If they are producing, that's the first thing you look at. Is are they producing? Are they following through with what they're telling you, with what they're claiming to? That's number one. The second qualifier in my eyes of a successful corporation is not the bottom line. The bottom line is not the measure of success. Not in my eyes. Which may have been a problem for me. That's probably why I'm only barely just getting ahead of the game now. But the other thing you look at is, how do they treat their employees? Okay. Are they treating the employees properly? In other words, here we have a corporation making, they're making billions of dollars, or they're making millions of dollars. Are they actually putting people to work? For instance, okay, if you've got a corporation, if you've got a company, and you're working in the company, and you're working in the area, are you providing your local people where your business is set? Are you providing your employees with a wage they can actually survive on? Okay, I see way too many companies where they're set up, they're making money. They're making money because they're always full. However, when you talk to the staff, they're getting paid less than a living wage. Okay, and the company is making money hand over fist. This is not a successful company in my eyes. Okay, that's the second thing you look at. The third thing you have to look at is the company operating in, well, I guess, and these are all equally important, by the way. Is the company following the law? Like, for instance, if you're looking at a restaurant, is the restaurant up to health codes? And I don't mean just barely sneaking by. I don't mean, are they paying off the health inspector to get a clean bill of health? I mean, are they actually a clean place? When you walk in the building, and we'll just stick with restaurants for a minute. If you walk into the restaurant, is it clean? Does it have a decent atmosphere? Does it feel like the customers are being treated well? Are the staff being treated well? And extremely importantly, is the company producing a quality product at a functional price? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all for somebody making a profit. Okay, and like you, I got caught up in the idea of, gee, if I make more money. I was, up until the beginning of this month, I was charging $180 an hour for my consulting services. On May 1st of 2022, I sheared that bill in half. I cut it back to $90. Okay, now I didn't change my outlook on what kind of service I was going to produce. Okay, and this does not make me better than you. This makes me me. That's it. Okay, but when you're looking at a company, Okay, like I was listening to somebody. Well, I'm going to stick to the restaurants for the moment. Understand, in this case, I spent 24 years working in restaurants. Okay, and what I found with a lot of restaurants, and still find to this day, the staff are very badly underpaid. Okay, I've seen some restaurants where what they do is they go, "We are adding 15% to your bill for tip." Well, bad news. The moment you do that, you go way outside the realm of reasonable company policy, in my eyes. Okay, as a matter of fact, I go into a restaurant and I go in the first time. If I get to the bill and it says we added 15% to the bill for tip, okay, right there, I'll never set foot in the restaurant again. I won't go in even if I'm invited. Although mind you, I'll walk in if I'm invited. I'll walk in and I'll ask them before they even seat me. Do you add a percentage tip to the bill? If they say yes, I'll turn around and leave. I won't do it because in my eyes, if you're running a restaurant, pay your staff the wage that they can live on. Okay. Now, in today's world, that's insane because, the price can be insane because of one little detail, and that is the cost of rent at this point, at least in Canada, at least in Kelowna, BC, which is where I live. Okay. But if every time, you got to remember, every time the wage goes up, there's a number of things that happen. First and foremost, the cost of everything else goes up. Okay. And that's where the problem comes in. Now, when you're looking at a restaurant, make sure, if you've got a restaurant running, and this really applies to pretty much every company, if you've got a public venue where people are coming into, make sure that the place is clean, is tidy, it feels nice. Okay. Now, I walked into one restaurant in particular. They themselves claimed they were a 5-star restaurant. Now, understanding I spent 24 years in restaurants. Okay. I walked in. Okay, and the first thing I noticed was half of their roof lights were out. Now, to me, this isn't anywhere near a 5-star appearance. Okay, but it boils down to the feel of the way you're operating. Now, where it comes to operating your own home, okay, again, it does boil down to the energy flow. It does boil down to what feels right. Now, fortunately, as you can see, I think, do I have one? Yeah, I do. I shouldn't. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go cure that. This is one of those things about procrastination. Doesn't exactly help. Okay. I don't, as it is right now, I'm recording, it's daylight. I've got my blinds open, so I didn't really need the electricity on. I've got to have the power on here, but the feel of the office is the important thing. Which is why, if you look at all these shelves over here, I've just started going through today to really pull them apart and get the pieces sorted out. That's my painting station over there. Okay, but the energy in the office is set up so that everything's sitting here. If I want to print something off right now, I've got a printer right here, just barely out of range. Okay, that all I have to do is hit one button here, go over onto this side, and I've got my mouse where I can reach it, and I can print off what I require. But the energy in my office, the working field that I've got, is set up quite nicely from my standpoint. Now, because I'm trying to work on something here, is that the one I need and I require? That is yesterday. So yes. Just good. Hopefully that didn't show up. Of course it shouldn't because it was on my screen. I opened up a file and put it straight on my screen. As soon as I get done this video, I've got to fill out that paperwork and get it sent off. But when you're looking at your office, which is the brain of your home, make sure it is sorted out. Make sure that the junk is out of the way. Now, I'm still working on these two shelves right here, which again, are not in view. Okay. Now, they're not in view to you, but they're in view to me. And it's that kind of clutter that really messes up the thinking process. The more smoothly your energy runs, the more freely it flows, the lower your stress is going to be. Now, I don't expect you to take my word for this, but if you're working in a cluttered office, tidy it up, get the stuff where it's required, and you will find, and I'm sure you'll find this, but you'll have to judge for yourself. Get the clutter out of the way. Now, okay, while I'm working on that, of course, one of the things I look at in the layout of my office, because I'm writing because one of the primary things I work on happens to be these books, the Yldrbac Chronicles. Okay, these. That is one of my major projects, and it's one of the things I do in my spare time. It's not what I call work. But, who do we got up there? These characters that are all sitting up here, those are all figures, and those are all, I didn't paint them. I wish. But those ones are figures that I found in different stores that matched perfectly the characters in these books. Okay, some of the characters. Now, of course, these particular ones, which are full of dragons and what have you, and dragons and angels and that sort of thing, are ones that fit perfectly in the older book, in some of the earlier books, as well as, because if you look, there's a young lass, and you can't see her very clearly from here. But let's see if we can do that. This character right here, that is one of the characters, and you'll have to read the books to figure out which one. This is one of the characters of the current book. Okay, as is this one right here. Okay. But they help me keep things in track regarding what I'm working on. So, in the way of organization, up here, well, that's my lighthouse, but that's okay, right there. That's my lighthouse. And you'll find that particular lighthouse is actually, and I don't know if you can see it very well, let's see. Not overly, but you see that ghosted lighthouse? Just so that I don't have to worry about whether or not anybody's worried about copyright. That is actually a photograph of that lighthouse up there. Okay, so I've got the books I'm working on over here, right? I've got the energy running properly there. This is my inventory of books I've already got in print. Up here, I've got my Tolkien collection. Now, J.R.R. Tolkien, the author of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. The Hobbit was the first book I ever read that I personally found it difficult to put down. Okay, I'm not exactly the best read person, but I've got things set up so that they are organized. Okay, I'm going through all of my figures here that I paint. There's well over 400 of them over here. But I'm now getting them organized so that I can pull open one drawer and go, there's a whole pile of them, let's work on them. Because you gotta remember, I'm painting these characters with toothpicks. Okay, which means you don't use a lot of paint on each figure, but you'll have 7 or 8 or more of them all operating at the same time. Okay, so I'm getting that organized, getting the energy in the brain of your home working. Now, of course, the heart of your home is a 3-chamber heart. Okay, and that 3 chambers those 3 chambers are your dining room, your kitchen, and your living room. Those 3, get the clutter moved out of them. You will find your energy levels go up, your stress level goes down. If you can get either ambient, positive music running in the background, or incense that makes you feel better. And at Christmas time, I don't use incense a lot. At Christmas time, I put in, most people can relate to the idea of turkey smells really good when it's cooking. Unless I'm cooking it, at which point not so much. But what I did find works well is I just take a normal sauce pot, put apple juice in it, right? Not homemade apple juice, sorry, like I said, not a great cook. Okay, but I put apple juice in it, throw about a half teaspoon of cinnamon and a half dozen whole cloves into it, and I leave it simmer throughout the day, periodically adding to it because, well, frankly, we drink it at the same time. But the smell of that warming apple juice, and I don't know if you call it apple cider because I don't add alcohol. Besides that, if you run alcohol on the stove for a long time, the alcohol is gone. But that helps with the ambient feel. Okay, that itself adds to the ambience. Okay, of the area. Same thing happens with things like wind chimes, because there are people. When you think about it, the layout of a place and the lack of clutter will get the energy in your home running smoothly. Okay, and the more smoothly it runs, the lower your stress level. The lower your stress level is, the more relaxed you'll be, and the more productive you'll be. Okay. Now, I will tell you, for the first time in I do not recall how long, I actually had trouble getting out of bed this morning. Only this time it wasn't because of the fact that my back was killing me. That I finally got through. Tell you, talk about being dense. I spent a week and a half in absolute agony living on painkillers like many of you undoubtedly do when you end up in pain. Okay, but what I ended up doing was it finally dawned on me, why am I tolerating the pain? So about 3 days ago, maybe 4 days, well, what are we? We're on Thursday, so it'd be 4 days ago. Sort of. Monday morning, I woke up going, I'm suffering like there is no tomorrow. Okay, and because I'm so immune to so many things, my painkillers, okay, I end up taking more than I should. Okay, but I take them for a short period of time, but it dawned on me, I'm in all this pain, and yet when I snap my arm, simple concentration on my ability to heal this whole arm. This arm was broken so badly it had to be bolted. It took me 9 days to heal the bone. Okay. It took me, it started on, when I finally dawned on me, it's like, what am I doing? Why suffer so much? I focused on the idea. Okay, I really focused on the issue of I've got to start healing me. I'm going to stop relying on these painkillers. Well, I decided on that on Monday. Okay, by Tuesday, the painkillers I'd wiped out of my system, but I was also out of the pain. Okay, I still haven't got my flexibility back up, but here we are Thursday. I'm not feeling any pain. I'm not taking painkillers. Okay, I have cut myself. I've healed a lot of that. But like I said, if you require painkillers because of pain, for pity's sake, use them reasonably. When I talk about what I do, this is in tandem with what other people are doing. Okay, but what I did find is the clearer your area is. And like, if you look at this filing cabinet over here, the green one, okay, I gotta go through it. I started going through the older files with it, and I'm finding files in my file collection that, I kid you not, I've got files from back in 2004. This is what you get for being a professional procrastinator, is I didn't get rid of the junk that was required. Okay, now I'm finally getting rid of it. And by doing that, I'm no longer worrying about what was in the past. Because frankly, I ran into an interesting situation. There was a person in my past that I was at odds at for the better portion of my life. Okay, we got things worked out a few years ago, but we never did get close. Okay, we broke through, we really had a shift in the communication lines just 2 days ago. I think this is the third day, 3 days ago. Okay, no, it was 2 because we found out on Tuesday. Okay, in any event, your negative issues from the past. You cannot do anything about the fact that negative things happen. They do. But we don't have to post the negatives all over the wall. Okay? I can tell you all sorts of horror stories about what I've gone through or what I've talked to people that they've gone through. Things they've done to embarrass themselves that should have been left alone. Okay? Like when I was talking about a business owner. Okay, if you own a business, if you own a restaurant, there's the things that you've got to worry about. Are they being honest with the customer? Are they producing a quality service? Okay. Are they paying their staff effectively so the staff can actually live? Okay. But that said, what they're doing in their home life does not have any functional bearing, in my opinion, as to whether or not they are running a business properly. Now, do not get me wrong. I'm a firm believer that so many people, I've heard so many people, both male and female, children and adults alike, that will blame everybody else for their problems. Now, I used to drink a 26er a night on the idea that it would help somebody else. Well, in all fairness, in my case, it really did. And the way I know it helped them is because when they got out of the situation they were in, I quit cold turkey. Okay, using my own methods, which I do share with people, I quit drugs and alcohol cold. Okay, but it was a mindset. Now, it really boils down to the same thing. If you're living in a world where you're not content with the way your life is going, that's what the journey is all about. Showing you how to do that. But if you don't know how to do it effectively yourself, talk to somebody that has done so effectively. Now, tomorrow I'm going to go into another little topic. And again, I am not trained in any of this. I simply have, at this point, 59 years of life. Okay, and these are the tools I personally use and the philosophies I personally live by that have worked for me. And you're going to have to take my word for it. They've worked for literally thousands of other people. Give the tools a shot. See if they work from you. I would love to hear your comments in the comments below. If you've got questions, absolutely. Below this video, you'll see a list of the different books that I've written. You'll find a list of the different ways of getting a hold of me. Drop me a line. I will be more than happy to respond as best I can. In any event, I will be back again tomorrow. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.